This is a demo of the Intelligent Enterprise Solution by Sellable Tech. It has multiple components like planning, scheduling, acquisition, logistics, charting, and eventually certain dashboards. Now let's look at each one of them one by one. We'll start with the planning solution. A planning solution is nothing but a way to predict and input the demand for the coming months. Right now it is zero because we are in the very first month of this quarter. If I look at the previous years, I can see the demands that we had generated as well as predicted or we had put in manually. Now let's go back to the current year and let's put in certain numbers here. Or in fact, I can choose certain months that I need to showcase. I can randomly, let's say, put in certain values for a particular month. Okay, now I click on submit and now I go to the design plan results. The design plan result is basically a report that will show you, basis the demand that you have put in, what should be your procurement. Now, this procurement is basically a combination of the raw material that you're going to procure from outside of the country as well as inside from the domestic plants. So it says around 162 kiloton has to come from the outside of the country, and that has to go into a specific plant, and then some of that has to be procured from the internal domestic plant, which has to go at multiple levels to different plants through trains, by trucks, and so on and so forth. Now let's look at the schedule for this. How do you schedule the overall transportation system? So the intelligent scheduling iScheduler is nothing but a month plan where I look at all my trains that are moving in the real time through sensors that are connected onto those trains, and the data is collected through a real-time streaming engine inside of this platform. Now, if I look at this particular plan, this is a well-connected plan. That means each plan for a particular train gets impacted if a plan for some other train changes, and that's because there are about 10 million data points that we need to crunch in the real time with about 2 million overall constraints. How do we solve this kind of a problem? In this case, we run a parallel processing constraint-based optimization algorithm at the back end that runs all of this in less than 3 minutes. I can actually go and add certain delays from the UI, and basis that I can actually change the overall schedule, because one change in one train can impact the other. The moment I do this, the overall schedule will change and I'll get the most optimal schedule basis the requirement at the plant. Now this of course impacts my schedule. How does my schedule looks like? Because of the procurement. So let's say I'm looking at a particular month for a particular port, for a particular plant, and let's say I put in a vessel that's going to bring in some quantity of iron ore from a outside shore. So let's say 100 kiloton is what I'm expecting. Let me take some suggestions. It's suggesting me certain dates. So let's say I took a particular date and I clicked on check. Now it says Vizag, I go to JNPT. Okay, so now I get around $20,000 demurrage coming in from JNPT as part of this solution. Now this will tell me that this is the cost that I'm going to incur because of the ship that I've positioned at that particular point in time. The lake is 13th to 19th April, which is pretty much at the current moment time. And now basis that I need to find out what my logistics would be for the ships. So this particular ship that's in vessel, that's a vessel, basically it's carrying certain raw material. I am going to look at the values of this or the raw material that it's going to carry, along with certain freights cost and certain compliance numbers. So the discharge port is going to be Marmugao, and we have ocean freights and other things also listed here. And this all is coming in from SAP. The chartering is basically nothing but it's a combination or a negotiation on the overall logistics supply and the procurement process. So now I see my target voyage time and the voyage time by names, basically the actual versus the target, and the demurrage train at multiple ports. iLogistics is nothing but it's a logistics dashboard that will give me the total insights with respect to my logistics that are running in the real time. So you can see bulkers, trucks, and it'll give you numbers that is going to pull in from that particular day of the month. Now, of course, it is the very recent day of the quarter. That's why you don't see a lot of trucks and bulkers numbers, because most of them are still sufficed by train themselves. I can look at my calendar. My calendar is basically on this particular month, day on day basis. I'll have the numbers for Boston's, bulkers, and truck. My financial dashboard will show me certain numbers with respect to some of the financial KPIs that the system measures, and so would be some of the reports for the senior management. So the beauty of the system is that it is capable of pulling in data from SAP basis the input. The only input we have given is the design plan. Now, basis that, it figures out what I need to schedule, what I need to procure, what do I need to send, and what, with respect to that, how much how much am I getting from my SAP in the actuals. And that's how you see the plan versus the actuals, differentiations, and the overall quantity of the port, and so on and so forth, right? So the most important part of this overall platform is it is built on the Azure framework. It is built on highly scalable and highly operationalized ecosystem, which is Databricks and Synapse combination. And best part of the solution is it's very lean. That means it doesn't really have to. You don't have to install anything. It's all on cloud, on app service, running on Azure. So that's it from my side. Let us know if you have any questions. We are reachable at sellabletech.com. Thank you so much.